Salivation Squidius Unanimous. I hope you're ready for some quarantine content. During these COVID times when a quarter of the planet is on lockdown, with all of this spare time, you can't help but reflect a little. I was looking back on my old Instagram photos, not in an existential crisis kind of way, more like in a why do I dress like a 90s dad at a barbecue. It is no secret that I started this channel with little knowledge of style in fashion, but I feel that makes the point of this video more relevant. So today, I'm gonna retrace my steps and compact all of the information I've learned in the past like 5 years into one handy 10-minute video, hopefully, at time. Boom! How to find your style. Just a little side note as well, all of the information that I'm going to be talking about today will be in the description down below. Just in case you're sitting there wondering, now what do I do with all of this info? Where do I go to further my education? I haven't got Animal Crossing. What do you mean you haven't got Animal Crossing? So the first thing I strongly believe anyone should do while trying to find their personal style is look for inspiration. And this can come from a number of different sources, but the best way or the most efficient way I found was building a mood board. Now, mood boards are nothing new to this channel. Literally every single style guide I've ever done has always started with, start with a mood board. Why don't you make a board of your moods? Now, a quick rundown of what a mood board actually is for those of you who are uninitiated. I would define it as more of a collection of photos, videos, all types of information into like one handy visual layout. Whenever I'm feeling unsure of my style or I want to change it up a bit, evolve it if you will, I refer back to my mood board. And here I can kind of get like a visual representation of where I'm at the moment in terms of style. My mood board primarily consists of saved photos and like a Finsta Instagram account, more or less just like an image dump where I just spam the living shit out of it. But now Instagram has this feature where you can just save posts into your own little private feed, so I'm using that more often. But the point remains, just have a collection of photos that you can look back on, so you can sit there and ponder like, oh, I like that. What if I use that and that, but I like those colors in that picture at the same time, but I kind of like this aesthetic. Oh, that's a good composition. Like something to look at, really gets the brain going. You can also have a physical mood board as well. Like there's nothing stopping you buying a cork board or something and just tearing out pages of Vogue. But I find having a mood board on Instagram and on my phone, it's just something really easy to go back to, and it's just like literally in your hands at all times. Almost everyone on the planet is on Instagram, and there are so many different pages to look out for. I personally recommend following some outfit repost pages, archive pages, influencers, models, artists, whoever you want to pick. Just start that mood board and add to it gradually. Which swiftly brings me to my next point. Pick some style icons. Now, there's not a limit of how many style icons you have. I would say pick some people that you really vibe with. Artists, stylists, influencers, anyone really. It could even be your mum or dad, if they're swaggy enough, that is. Again, moving back to the mood board, add some of your favorite fits from your style icons into the mood board just to integrate the whole thing. And then sooner or later you'll start seeing a little theme appear, and then you can start questioning everything like, why do I like these icons? Why do I like this aesthetic? One thing I will say to look out for when picking style icons is to focus on yourself rather than trying to dress exactly like these icons. It's very easy to fall into that, I'm just gonna copy what they're doing kind of mentality, which is why I think getting lots of different sources from lots of different pages into a mood board is very important, just so you can diversify and kind of see a bigger picture forming. And then you can start asking other important questions like, who are you dressing for? Are you dressing to express yourself? Are you dressing to chase that clout? Are you dressing to show girls how much of a chad you are? Not to get too deep about it, but it's good just to be honest with yourself. A couple of my personal favorite style icons would have to be people like Ian Connor, Blondie, Lucas Sabat, and the wild card Robin Williams, low-key fit master since the 90s. Is that Izzy Miyake, big man? Say no more. The next thing I would suggest is to check out brands. So naturally, when you're looking for stuff for your mood board and picking style icons, you're naturally going to come across brands. And it's always good to check out a brand when you stumble across it, because number one, obviously that's where you're going to buy your clothes. But secondly, one brand can lead you to another brand that can lead you to a community. It's just a natural progression when you branch out. Also, I think you can find like a basic understanding of the whole fashion community or fashion industry in general. Certain brands are heavily heavy on messages or ethics or their aesthetics. Here, I'd say it gets a little bit more practical because you're actually looking at pieces that you can buy. Wow, consumerism equals style. So save some pieces that you like, add them to your mood board, ask yourself, why do I like this? How can I style this? It's all about soul searching and capitalism. This can also make you go into a click hole. I like Carhartt and the whole workwear situation. Oh, what about Dickies? Skaters like Dickies. Skaters like Supreme. Well, that's controversial, but Supreme, Palace, Dime, Noah, Rasfeet, Hypebeasts. Oh damn, is she wearing Chanel's with the Jordans? What's Dior? And so forth. The next thing I would recommend while looking for inspiration is photography, fashion books. Now, in a world where everything is so easily accessible online, people seem to skip this step completely, and I feel that's a little bit of a shame because photography books are like Instagram, but in your hands. No, wait, that doesn't make any sense. These books can introduce you to a whole new aesthetic and a whole new style, and they can just really open your eyes into the art of style and fashion. Most of these photography fashion books can really show you a different side of fashion, and some really do push the boundaries of creativity. My general rule of thumb with these books is just like get as much as you can, absorb as much as possible, and then you can kind of get more of a fully rounded idea of what style means to you. A few of my favorite photography books would have to be this Palace photo album, the Places Plus Faces magazine, Untitled, and one book that I always go back to and I love drawing inspiration from is the Wavy Garments Bible. Honestly, like I really vibe with the aesthetic. It was a limited run as well, so I feel kind of special getting it. And for me, it really just broke down the barriers into fashion. Like it's not all just about catwalks and fashion week. Like Wavy Garments brings the realness, and I absolutely love that about this book. So that's what I mean when I say fashion books can really change your perception of fashion and really like break boundaries, and you can get really inspired with the creativity. So that's more or less everything for inspiration. You can find inspiration from like literally anywhere. If you're from the sticks like I am, even going to somewhere like London for the day, just seeing everyone going around their daily business and break you out of that small town uniform mentality. If you're from the countryside, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But long story short, look for some inspiration. Now, the second thing that I would recommend while searching for your personal style is look to educate yourself. And the easiest way to get you on the ball to educating yourself about fashion and style is fashion publications and catwalks. Fashion publications mainly revolve around current trends, what's going on right now. It's seasonal, it's current, it's trending, frontline fashion. It's a very valuable resource if you want to keep up to date. Each publication has their own angle on fashion. Ones that I would recommend to start with are like Vogue, ID, High Snobiety, Hypebeast, Garage. These aren't necessarily the best, but it's a good jumping off point. And then there are catwalks. Now, catwalks and Fashion Week, I would say, are the pinnacle of the fashion world. Fashion designers from all over the world do Fashion Week, do catwalks, set trends, indirectly letting the world know what is hot and what is not. Keeping up to date with catwalks and Fashion Week can be a little bit daunting, so the easiest place to get this information is through the Vogue Runway app. I've spoken about the Vogue Runway app on one of my previous videos. Link up there maybe. It's a free app you can get from your iPhone. I don't think you can get it for Android, but there is like a website for it. The Runway app shows you catwalks that have literally just happened. They're at Fashion Week, London, Paris, New York, etc, etc. And they also take street shots as well. That's another little tab where you can see what people are wearing to these shows, because like the fashion elite go to Fashion Week. So that's also a very good resource to get some pictures for your mood board as well. But all in all, catwalks, I would say, are very important. They're front line fashion and is the ultimate resource to carry on your fashion education. Next, I would suggest you experiment with your style. I personally feel if you enjoy fashion and style as a hobby or a pastime, you'll do this naturally anyway. You'll never have to sit down and schedule, oh, I've got to experiment with my style now. No, you're already doing it. I would definitely take this time, especially now that we've got nothing else to do, to experiment with styles you wouldn't normally vibe with. If something works, then you can add that to your style palette. In my opinion, style is all about evolving, changing, keeping it fresh. Just don't fight it. Just don't fight it. Let it happen. It's essential to keep it interesting and fresh. Just challenge yourself and get out of your comfort zone, especially if you're feeling that it's getting a little bit stale. Just absorb as many influences as you can find. Just let it happen naturally. Experimentation. Another way to educate yourself and make fashion a little bit more fun is fashion communities. There seems to be a fashion community for any tribe of style, and these can come in the form of Facebook groups, Reddit pages, Instagram pages, YouTubers, bloggers, and the more communities you're involved in, the better, in my personal opinion. Like, it's all about keeping it diverse, interesting, and fresh. I would say that Facebook groups are the most active forums right now. Ones that I would personally recommend are the Basement, High Fashion Talk. Pretty much any major brand has their own Talk Facebook group. There are plenty of fashion YouTubers that fall into different sets. You've got PAQ, you've got Sange, Unknown Vlogs, all different in their own right but cover their corner of fashion. I also recommend more traditional YouTubers that focus more on like style and composition. Daniel Simmons, Tim Dessaint, Gallucks. These are all fashion sources that I can vouch for. Now, on the more practical side of educating yourself on your personal style is auditing your current wardrobe. I would say audit your wardrobe regularly, like once every couple of weeks. I always try my best to declutter my wardrobe, but at the same time maintain a capsule collection. A capsule collection is basically just the essentials you have in your wardrobe: plain white t-shirts, jeans, beater shoes, and the like. Everything else is seasonal and maybe dead weight. For example, I have this Burberry shirt that I wore back in 2019, but for some reason it's still in my wardrobe. I haven't worn this in ages, but it's just sitting there taking up space, making you look like you've got a fuller wardrobe than you actually have. I would suggest taking these items out of your wardrobe just so you've got more of a clearer picture of what you're wearing right now. You don't have to throw them away or give them to charity shops or anything. You can literally just store them in an underbed container. Whatever you want to do, just get them out of the wardrobe, because you want to have a clear mind, body and soul. Take you on a journey, meditation, oh my god. So audit your wardrobe, make sure it's wearable and to your style at that current point in time. One little optional side note I would suggest while looking into the whole situation is find out if you have a signature. For example, is there like a certain accessory or style that defines you as a person? If someone were to describe you, what would be the first thing they say? Ah, that's the guy with the gold watch. Yeah, I used to wear a gold watch. Ah, that's the guy with the big hair. That's the guy with the sick off chain. This is more if you want to build yourself up as a brand, or kind of like, ah, I recognize that. It's just something to consider. If you have a signature, how can you adapt or evolve that into your new style? And that was my handy little how to find your personal style guide. Now, of course, there are going to be some points that I missed out. If you have any tips into finding your personal style, or you have a story that you want to tell, then please leave that in the comment section down below. If you're looking for anything a bit more specific, like how to color block, how to style A, B, and C, I will be leaving some videos from other YouTubers in the description down below. Just some handy little guides which I have found very useful myself. From this point onwards, I'm also going to be putting a little TV guide in my YouTube videos from now on, just because I feel that there's a lot of really good creators out there doing their thing, and it might not necessarily be someone you've come across before, and I just want to shine a little bit of light. So I will be leaving all of those links from now on in the description down below under TV guide, because I'm a TV guide now. If you like this video, then please give it a like. If you dislike this video, then give it a dislike. If you want to support me and the channel, then press the little subscribe button and the little bell notification if you want to get notified when I upload a new video. Share this video with your friends. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching my videos. Bye.